So, here is the big question: how do you end up with a watch that gives you a dial straight out of a starry night, a true moon phase and a big date complication, and quite unique automatic mechanical caliber, all for the price of a casual dinner out here in London? That is the puzzle that Sugess Moonphase sets up and definitely makes you wonder, is there a catch? Well, after spending about a week with this watch, I've tried my best and actually found a few little quirks and compromises. So, is this just a crazy good deal, or is there a little more to this story? Well, we have it here. Let's find out. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Now, before we dive into nitty-gritty details of this Sugess Moonphase, for full transparency, this watch was sent over by AliExpress team for review. In return, they've asked me to share a quick message about their back-to-school blowout sale, which actually started on the 18th of August. So here it is in their exact words. AliExpress back-to-school blowout has started with many products up to 80% off. So start shopping now. But putting some more dramatic pitch aside, 80% discounts are definitely very attractive. Also, this particular Sugess Moonphase watch has an exclusive single product code that will take £25 off the price, making this timepiece a real steal of a deal. I will put the discount code in the description of this video. And also, as a bonus, I've got some channel exclusive discount codes and a special cashback link just for you guys, which are not product specific and can get you up to 10% cashback on your purchases. All you need to do apparently is join my cashback team. I will pop all the details on the screen and in the description below. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into the review and see what this watch is really all about. Right, so let's talk design. This Sugess Moonphase is all about originality, not exactly a homage territory. We are getting a unique piece here built on three pillars. First, that stunning aventurine-like dial that just pops. Second, a genuinely interesting seagull movement with a real moonphase and big date complication, a little off the beaten path. And third is the price. It is frankly kind of incredible for what we are getting here. But here is the nuance. To make this a truly standout dress piece at 41mm, they didn't cut corners exactly, but they made some design choices that are all about keeping it firmly in a dress watch space. For example, we're getting push-pull crown here, not a screw down like we would get on a tour watch, and also things like pushers on the sides of the case. Again, not something we would expect, let's say, on a diver. We will chat about those trade-offs as we go, just so you know exactly what you are getting into. In short, it is a unique, eye-catching dress watch with a few quirks that kind of come with the territory. Now, let's talk about what is sticking inside. This is Seiko ST2528 and it is not your everyday movement. We have 29 jewels here supporting that moonphase and big date complications. It is hackable, hand-windable and offers a bit of extra practicality with around 45 to 48 hours of power reserve. So, we're getting a bit more stamina here than your typical 40-hour standard. This movement also allows for a quick set of date and moonphase indicators. This is done by concealed pushes on the flanks of the case at 10 o'clock and 4 o'clock positions respectively. And this movement of course features a true moon complication with 29 days, 12 hours and 45 minutes rotation cycle. This movement beats at 21,600 vibrations per hour, and through the exhibition caseback we can see some attractive decorations on the rotor and bridges. It is a handsome movement that adds a touch of refinement and definitely looks much more expensive than the watch actually costs. And now let's look at the size and proportions. This watch comes in at about 41mm in diameter, which gives it a noticeable presence on the wrist. The lug width is slightly unusual, 21mm, which might sound odd at first, but it actually enhances that elegant, dressy look that they're going for. In terms of wearability, we've got nicely slanted lugs that help this watch sit comfortably on the wrist. The case height is slightly on the larger side at 13.9mm, and the lug lock-to-lock distance is about 49 millimeters here, so while it has got some presence, it is still manageable for most wrist sizes. Weight-wise, we've got here 82 grams, so it's not too heavy and perfectly comfortable for all-day wear. Let's talk about the case. We've got a solid 316L stainless steel construction that blends polished and brushed surfaces really nicely. Up top there is a polished fixed bezel that transitions smoothly into sculpted locks and brushed flanks. One neat detail here is the subtle thin polished chamfers separating those brushed sides from the bezel, adding a little extra visual interest you might not notice straight away. We also got those flush pushers on the sides for the date and moonphase adjustments. The crown is a comfortable onion-shaped push-pull design which suits the dressy aesthetics perfectly. Turning this watch over and there is an exhibition case back. Yes, it is mineral glass only rather than sapphire, but at this price point it is perfectly fine. Water resistance here is about 50 meters or 5 ATM, which is enough for everyday splashes and hand washing, but definitely not for swimming. All in all, it is a well-executed case that further reinforces the dressy nature of this timepiece. So we've got this lovely double dome sapphire crystal here that sits just a touch above the polished bezel, offering that extra scratch protection. Now, there is no official mention of any air coating in the product listings, which is a bit of a missed opportunity. For a dress watch with such attractive and high contrasted dial, it is not a big deal in terms of readability, but having a good anti-reflective coating could just help that good-looking dial shine through even more. Right, so the dial here is truly the star of the show. We've got that gorgeous sandstone-like sparkle background, and while the sparkle effect is most likely artificially enhanced, it still looks quite natural and really pops. There is a printed minute track around the perimeter with the 5-minute increments loomed up, as we will see in a moment in my Lume Test. And then the moonphase complication, and it is a showstopper. In this version, the moonphase is actually loomed, which makes it even more special. The dolphin hands are well proportioned, nicely finished and also loomed, which gives this dress watch dial that extra bit of practicality. Now, if I have to nitpick, one thing that I would note here is the date legibility. You would think a big date would be super easy to read, however, it is not quite the case. They match the date background to that beautiful dial, which is great, however, the digits don't pop quite as much, especially in the low light, so you might need a second glance. Possibly a stronger contrast of the date digits would have solved this, but then it might mess up with the dial overall look. So it seems like a trade-off of aesthetics over the pure function, keeping that dreamy night sky illusion intact. Now, Lume. As for the Lume, it is actually quite decent. The minute track, hands and the moonphase indicator are loomed, adding a nice touch of practicality. However, do keep in mind that the Lume isn't super strong here and does not last a great deal, like we would expect on a diver. Still, considering the style of this watch and the price, it is a great bonus. So the strap here is genuine leather with a faux croc pattern. Normally I'm not a huge fan of this, but in this case the deep blue color really matches the dial well. It is double-sided, has a nice bit of padding for comfort and comes with a quick-release spring bars for easy changes. And as for the buckle, it is a well-executed milled piece that is also signed with the same tasteful font as the branding on the dial. We've got that nice mix of polished and brushed finishes here too, which ties in really nicely with the case design. Overall, the strap and buckle combo really rounds out the watch as a cohesive, comfortable package. Right, so what's the verdict? Well, in a nutshell, this is a phenomenal piece for the price. Sure, there are a couple of little things that could be refined, like adding a bit of more anti-reflective coating on that sapphire crystal, but honestly, at the listed price, it is incredibly hard to fault this watch. And if you factor in current discounts, knocking off around another £25, it is just a crazy good deal. So if you are looking for an affordable moonphase watch that punches well above its weight, well, this one is definitely worth a look. And hey, if you're on the hunt for more great value watches, I have quite a few reviews. I'll put them on the screen somewhere around here and also in the description. And of course, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and definitely subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thank you for watching, take care, and I will see you in the next video.